This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
There's nothing like sinking into luxury. At WashableSofas.com, you'll find the Anabe sofa, which combines ultimate comfort and design at an affordable price. And get this, it's the only sofa that's fully machine washable from top to bottom, starting at only $699. The stain-resistant performance fabric slipcovers and cloud-like frame duvet can go straight into your wash. Perfect for anyone with kids, pets, or anyone who loves an easy-to-clean, spotless sofa. With a modular design and changeable slipcovers, you can customize your sofa to fit any space and style. Whether you need a single chair, love seat, or a luxuriously large sectional, Anabe has you covered. Visit WashableSofas.com to upgrade your home. Right now, you can shop up to 60% off store-wide with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Shop now at WashableSofas.com. Add a little to your life. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
Gatorade Zero, the #1 proven electrolyte blend, made with zero sugar. Designed to hydrate better than water so you can lose more sweat and push more limits. Gatorade Zero, is it in you?
Come on, why is this taking so long? This thing is ancient.
Still using yesterday's tech? Upgrade to the ThinkPad X1 Carbon. Ultra-light, ultra-powerful, and built for serious productivity. With Intel Core Ultra processors, blazing speed, and AI-powered performance that keeps up with your business, not the other way around.
Whoa, this thing moves.
Stop hitting snooze on new tech. Win the tech search at Lenovo.com. Lenovo. Unlock AI experiences with the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, so you can work, create, and boost productivity all on one device.
Welcome to the Winds of Change that make up a windy day in Eagan, Minnesota at Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center for day 2 of joint practices between the Minnesota Vikings and the New England Patriots. With producer Eric Nordquist, yours truly is Paul Allen, and Brett Blakemore guides the great ship Love Covenant at FM 100.3 KFAN. Vikings and Pats back at it today, and we're back. Day 2 of the Perch presentation, but first, through turmoil and through distraction, how was your lawn held up this spring, summer? And the reason I ask is walking from the Vikings locker room area across the half field that is the Mike Hughes Memorial Field, which is being renovated, and the field closest to us, which had the offensive and defensive line one-on-one battles yesterday. Yeah. And just casting the gaze off to the right, how in the heck do they keep this grass so nice with so many people running on it and clods kicking up and cleats and just everything, and no crabgrass and like no weeds? Or how do they do it?
Well, it's just like anything else in front of us here at Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center. Good morning. It's a commitment to excellence, PA.
Yeah.
I have lucked out with all the rain. I really haven't had to dig into the old sprinkler system in 2025, which has been nice. But I, like many others, maybe I mow it a couple days too early. Maybe I mow it a couple days too late.
Yeah.
The weeding, I've dropped the ball on that. I have not offered.
You got crabgrass?
I got a little. It gets a little crabby.
Crabgrass sucks.
Well, frankly,
it's like the freaking Flores defense amoeba that spreads just all over your love.
Yeah,
that's one way to put it.
I never handle business smartly enough and quickly enough on the front end.
Yeah.
So then it feels like I spend most of the summer playing catch up.
Yeah.
And that's my fault. I need to be better about my lawn for sure. As a matter of fact,
you've got a couple of things going on.
Mowing the lawn is on the to-do list.
Yeah.
Whether it's today, tomorrow, or Saturday. So we got to get it. No, I don't know how they do this.
It's unbelievable.
That's why I was commenting to you yesterday.
There were 1,000 people on these fields yesterday.
You're like, what do you mean? I'm like, I hope these groundskeeping guys, I hope they make pretty good cash. Like, I hope that they're rewarded. There's an element, it's like, man, it's cool to work with an NFL organization. I'm out here on the field. There are probably perks associated with that.
Right.
I just hope they make more than a fair dollar for offering the serenity and the heavenly view that we have in front of us on the perch.
I mean, Van Ginkel guy here, to our right, which would be the south side of Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center.
Yeah.
You know, he and Grant's staff, Grant's the groundskeeper, they have this unbelievable contraption they're using right now.
And what does that do?
Well, they're filling divots, but they fill divots with things that like grow back quickly,
right? And
they stay. I mean, it's a high-end presentation here with the elite agronomy minds that make up the groundskeeping staff at Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center. There's not a blade of crabgrass. It's unbelievable.
Well, think about this though, like divots. Okay. If Ava or Stella twist an ankle in my yard, I'm telling them to shake it off. If one of our highly touted if Donovan Jackson twists an ankle on a divot that wasn't taken care of on one of the practice fields, somebody's getting yelled at. So that is probably part of it too, is not necessarily a fear, but it's like we got to keep this thing perfect because we got to get this engine rolling here at TCO.
Right. Well, the only thing crabby yesterday was not any form of weed known as crabgrass trying to grow on these plush fields. It was yours truly about an hour and change into the Vikings joint practice with New England. And not crabby because Diggs runs circles around Jeff Okudah. Naylor's going to get loose for 65 and he drops it. It's not things like that. This is overstimulation central, man.
Yeah.
And I forgot just how difficult it is, binoculars or not, to closely follow all of the action that's taking place. It seriously, it's a 7-year-old child on an overdose of candy. Because on the far field, which would be the southeast side of Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center, well, there goes Diggs. All right. And there's kind of a weird roar in the crowd. People like, whoa, that was cool. He used to play for us. Mr. Miracle, Minneapolis Miracle, Marcus Williams, this butt. Anti-bike, go home. But we don't want to cheer for him. He's wearing red, white, and blue. But they cheered for him a little bit. That was weird.
Yeah.
Then you hear coaches yelling to the left of the exclusive Vikings Radio Network perch, which would be the north side of the facility, because a couple of beef eaters are going at it, and somebody just got around somebody, and there's hooting and hollering from either the Vikings or the Patriots because one of their dogs just won a key one-on-one. But, you got the binoculars focused on Diggs and Okudah, then you miss the beef eaters, and then to the right, the field closest to us in front of the what would you call these, the suites?
The VIP tents?
VIP tents, thank you. There will be Aaron Jones getting loose on a screen with Donovan Jackson mashing humanity. And then Parker Romo hits from 58, and then Will Reichard goes 3 of 3, and then Ryan Wright shanks one, and then the Aussie has a banana ball. That's just the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. There's just so much going on. It just drained me yesterday with the overstimulation. And good morning.
Good morning. Yes, on my way back to the house for appointment terrorism, the play-by-play with Tennant, because frankly,
Ron was doing a good job with that, by the way.
It's 2 hours of feeling like you're constantly missing the next great aspect of it.
Yep.
So I'm looking over here, I'm looking over there, I'm trying to focus in on this, but then I miss something awesome off in the distance.
Yeah.
And I constantly, it's FOMO central.
Yeah.
While focusing in on one thing, something else awesome is currently happening.
Right.
But trying to keep up with the play-by-play of Tenna with Ron Johnson here, I think Parker was on the perch as well.
Yeah.
That was actually a blast. That was the adrenaline. I don't know what the most chaotic race that you've ever called at Canterbury, but I'm just saying it's like a 30-horse field out here. They're 5 wide into the stretch.
Yeah.
How do you keep up with that? You can't. You can't, so you do your best.
We tease Ron Johnson, a little bit on the 9 to noon show, and it's born of love. I mean, I've known Ron a long time, but if Ron, who was on the program yesterday, the 10 of Fitz filling in for Dan, if you see Ron have a conversation, say, with Patriots wide receiver Demario Davis, whatever his name is.
Douglas, yeah, you were right.
Yeah, well, you're going to come out of that conversation with Ron indicating that Demario now runs his routes differently because of what Ron just taught him. So we'll joke about things like that. But then you hear him describe plays yesterday on the radio, because I was right next to him for about an hour and change. And, man, was he seeing it clearly. He's 3 steps into it, throw it away. It's thrown away. 3 steps into it. Hawkinson left break. Boom, first down. My man was seeing it clearly yesterday. That was really enjoyable, but in patented wide receiver fashion, he was watching one thing, the Vikings offensive field against the Patriots defense. There's just a lot going on here, and today, from what I hear, being here a little while now, I think today they're going to really focus on red zone drills, which means that there probably will be some hot goal line action between first offenses and second offenses and defenses. That's where the rubber meets the road, where in terms of if they're going to scrap. I mean, if it's going to get nasty, it's going to take place today. It's cooler today than yesterday. Humidity broke a little bit. The winds of change definitely are more prevalent today than yesterday. But when they get down inside the 20 and inside the 10 and inside the 5, that's where it's fixing to get nasty.
Well, and Ron's going to be back today, and he's going to be back with Tenna, I think, here on the Perch at noon. So he's going to be setting the scene and offering up the storytelling part of it.
That's the best news Efton Chisholm the third has gotten all day, because now he can learn how to run a shallow cross.
Well, my favorite part of Ron breaking down the QB stuff yesterday, though, is you could tell it was coming from a wide receiver's brain, because nothing was perfect enough. Nothing was accurate enough for the wide receivers yesterday to satisfy Red Zone Ron, one of the great Gophers of all time. Everything was either leading a guy that was a little bit high. That's going to break a guy's ribs if you put it to him over the middle like that in a game that counts. We need to be sharper. That's what we got from Ron yesterday. So day 2 in the red zone, sharper. I think that's the name of the game.
Yeah, if I were Ron Johnson, the only thing with which I would be careful is, like, an hour after practice yesterday, as I awaited Lucky Jackson to record an interview you'll kind of hear later today, is when he pulled former Gopher Max Brosmer to the side, spent 20 minutes with him, teaching him that when you're in the shotgun, put your opposite foot forward. Okay? And Max was like, dude, Kevin, no, just watch, try it. So, like, his right foot was forward in the shotgun, and it wasn't working and everything, but Ron just wouldn't stop about, hey, just, I know what Josh and whatever, just put your right. I'm just kidding. Ron would never do that. But seeing Ron and Max Brosmer hook up yesterday, that was cool. That was the Sky Yuma Covenant. And today,
part of the overstimulation, right?
It was.
Everything happening here. It is a freaking zoo.
Right. Seeing Garrett Bradbury out of nowhere, that was cool. Diggs was Stephon Diggs was very engaging with the crowd and with the fans. Seemed to be having a good time yesterday, and with trying to keep up with this whole thing, there were some moments yesterday that I jotted down to share during the course of the show today, and one of them. Like, my main focus yesterday, because I became infatuated with it when they went one-on-one, Milton Williams. All right, we remember him in free agency.
Yeah.
Might have watched him a little bit with the Eagles, even though the Georgia kids played more than him. But still, Milton Williams would play some key moments, and then he got a fat deal of all fat deals ever to be fat.
Less than half the snaps, I believe, last year for the Eagles.
He's unbelievable.
$100 million deal.
He's an unbelievably good defensive tackle. All right, Donovan, what do you got? So that kind of gets us back to Monday, where when I was watching back Vikings and Texans, I mentioned good for Donovan Jackson. This is going to sound like, it in essence contradicts each other. But when Donovan played with the McCarthy offense, this beef eater for the Texans named Tim Settle got him in a good spot, pushed him back 5 yards, was a kind man at the end of it, because he could have shoved him on his back super hard, and he didn't. But that was kind of an ingratiating welcome to the NFL moment.
Yeah.
Because Donovan kind of got handled on that play. Well, you can tell he learned from it, and that just things are different now that he's banged heads with grown men and professionals, and not those playing for Ball State or whatever, because he represented himself pretty well yesterday against Milton Williams. That was I would imagine, I didn't look at a lot of social media yesterday or this morning. I would imagine somebody caught video of an Aaron Jones screen where Donovan Jackson was smashing on New England Patriot corners. I mean, it was game speed. It was full. They were full game hits.
It was a talker on social.
Well, yeah, it should have been. I mean, the way he drove them down, and no fight started. It was, he didn't try to hurt anybody, but they were in the way of a big man, and big men were looking to eat. So that's going to be splashy, and that matters because it was a beautifully run play. But it's the in the trenches, the one-on-ones between Milton Williams and Donovan Jackson, and Kyrus Tonga is better than, or at least looks to be a little different or better than maybe when he was a rotational guy here. They play him a lot, watching him against the guards for the Minnesota Vikings. Our guards are nasty, man. Will Fries getting himself up to speed off injury. Donovan Jackson, those are a couple of nasty playing individuals, and they play for the Minnesota Moving Company. And yesterday, Alex Boone, former Vikings guard, was at practice. Chatted with Boone for a little bit and set up a chat about the Minnesota Moving Company and more. And that's going to be next when we return to Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center and the exclusive Vikings Radio Network perch for day 2 of joint practices between the New England Patriots and the Minnesota Vikings. That's part of the TimberTech What's on Deck set list, which also includes Ben Lieber on site at 10 o'clock. And Patriots Vox Bob Sosi will join us at 11. Nordo produces, Blake Moore guides, and I'm Paul Allen. You're listening to KFAN.
Time for a sofa upgrade? Visit WashableSofas.com and discover Anabay, where designer style meets budget-friendly prices, with sofas starting at $699. Anabay brings you the ultimate in furniture innovation with a modular design that allows you to rearrange your space effortlessly. Perfect for both small and large spaces, Anabay is the only machine-washable sofa inside and out. Say goodbye to stains and messes with liquid and stain-resistant fabrics that make cleaning easy. Liquid simply slides right off. Designed for custom comfort, our high-resilience foam lets you choose between a sink-in feel or a supportive memory foam blend. Plus, our pet-friendly, stain-resistant fabrics ensure your sofa stays beautiful for years. Don't compromise quality for price. Visit WashableSofas.com to upgrade your living space today with no-risk returns and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Get up to 60% off plus free shipping and free returns. Shop now at WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
Gatorade Zero, the #1 proven electrolyte blend, made with zero sugar. Designed to hydrate better than water so you can lose more sweat and push more limits. Gatorade Zero, is it in you?
Mint is still $15 a month for premium wireless. And if you haven't made the switch yet, here are 15 reasons why you should. 1, it's $15 a month. 2, seriously, it's $15 a month. 3, no big contracts. 4, I use it. 5, my mom uses it. Are you playing me off? That's what's happening, right? Okay, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, $15 per month equivalent required. New customer offer first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
I've got Dan Morgan here on the pod. Say hi, Dan.
Hey, how's it going today?
It's going good, man. Tell us who you are and what you do.
I'm Dan Morgan. I'm an attorney and a managing partner at Morgan & Morgan, which is America's largest injury law firm.
That's pretty awesome. I think I saw a billboard of yours recently that said 20 billion won. 20 billion is an insane number.
Yeah, 20 billion recovered. It's actually, I think, somewhere north, probably closer to 22, 23 after this year. And each year we get bigger and badder and our army grows. So the number will hopefully keep getting bigger and bigger as time goes on.
Awesome. So how does someone get in contact with Morgan & Morgan? What would I do if I got into an accident?
Probably the easiest way is dialing pound law. That's pound 529 from your cell phone. We are always open. Our call center is always waiting to take your call. 24/7, 365.
Wow. Dan Morgan from Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Thanks for coming by the show.
Thanks for having me.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Bam. Alex Boone, beloved Booney, beloved Rhino, is a former member of the Minnesota Moving Company, a former guard for the Minnesota Vikings. As mentioned, found him at Vikings training camp yesterday and pilfered some of his elite offensive line takes. And I figured instead of just trying to regurgitate some of these takes, let's just have Alex on the radio show and his trained eye and what he saw yesterday and what he thinks, and he joins us now. Alex, did you and the boy have a good time at the joint practice yesterday?
PA, it's always great to come up there and watch dudes getting smeared from one side of the field to the other, especially when it's Mike Vrabel's crew. I mean, I love Vrabel. You know I do. Watching his guys get schmoed all over the place. Did you see that screen that went for like 80 yards? Incredible.
Yeah. And, of course, it was a guard in Boone-like fashion down the field, mashing man.
Somewhere.
Yeah, right. Donovan Jackson, and he got those corners good. No near fracases or fights or anything broke out. But as joint practices go, and you saw it, man, I was right next to you. That's cool, right? You know, to get into a corner like that on a screen and knock them down hard.
Absolutely. Well, I think the one thing that's changing is with these joint practices, this is becoming more the game, right? So instead of putting all these starters out on Saturday, they're like, hey, listen, let's go at it for the next 3 days. And then after that, we'll rest our starters and throw everybody else out there that needs to get good tape out because they're not going to be here, which I think is awesome. So it's up the value of the practices. But at the same time, I was kind of talking to someone like, hey, there's not a lot of fights going on. They told me all the film is now sent into the league. So if you get into a fight in these practices, you get a FedEx. And I was like, no way. And they're like, you wonder why these guys are being so cool. I go, no, I really do. Because there's a few times you could see guys were getting chippy and their friends were like, don't do it. Don't do it. And I was like, why is he telling him not to do it? Like, we were always like, do it. Do it now. Like, get me in this. Tag me in. Yeah, they're not doing that anymore.
Boone, one of the things that stuck out to me yesterday, too, was how crowded it was. I mean, I've seen a bunch of joint practices over 2 decades and change. That whether it's the Patriots media or Bob Kraft and his entourage, I mean, there were like 1,000 people around the field yesterday, and they were kind of getting in the way of Boone a little bit, too, weren't they?
There was a few times I had to move my position to watch the O-line, and at one point I was kind of like, listen, I just want to watch the big ugly. Can I just go stand next to them? Can I just be around the stink fest? It didn't bother me, but it's awesome to see that many people out there, and I think a lot of it is because of the excitement of the Vikings, right? Like, everyone's super excited about this year. I'm super excited about this year. I was talking to Coach Cooper yesterday, Chris Cooper, the O-line coach, who I adore, and I think he's awesome. And we were just talking about how fired up we are for this year because of the group up front. Like, that's one of the reasons to be super excited. We've been talking for years, like, if they could just get a core and get guys to protect the quarterback and let something happen, imagine how good they would be, and now they have it. So look at the excitement that this team should have.
Well, with the new interior, all right, Donovan Jackson, rookie Ohio State left guard, Ryan Kelly, 10th year Alabama, Will Fries, the right guard. I mean, it's bigger, it's beefier, it has an edge to it that maybe we can say we haven't seen here in a little while from the guard spot. But these what can they do with that new interior they have that maybe they haven't done the last few years?
Well, number one, you're talking about the athleticism, right? Like Donovan Jackson, looking at him yesterday, he is so thick. And watching him run and pull and hit things, you're like, oh my gosh, he's going to eviscerate everything. But what I love the most about the core is Ryan Kelly, and I got to talk to him a little bit. We were both on the PA together when I was on my way out, and he was young. And it was great because I was talking to him, and he was like, the one thing I love about this place is the culture. And I was like, dude, it's the one thing everyone talks about, right? Like KOC all the way down. And that's the one thing nobody knows, is that it starts with the head man. And as long as everyone loves the head man and he's the same guy every day, you're going to hear that word thrown out all the time. The culture here is great. Why? Because we're kept accountable, and everyone just goes to work. Just do your job. It's a simple thing. And Ryan kept talking about how awesome it was to be a part of this offensive line, how excited he was. And just that alone was like, you know what? They're going to be so good. Why? Because Ryan's really smart. You got a young quarterback behind him that can do some great things. The outside receivers are amazing. The running back is going to be phenomenal. Everything's coming together where it's like, hey, this could actually work because you're not putting a lot on the rookie quarterback to do everything, make all these calls. He's got to make all these adjusts, kill this, kill that. It's a lot. If you can take a little bit of that off his plate, watch what happens.
Now, I know you watched the Vikings-Texans game closely. We're going to get into somebody I didn't know you knew well until yesterday, Kansas State rookie Logan Brown. But in that game, just tell me if this is real or if the kids would say it's a thing. Because, like with Donovan Jackson, maybe this happened in training camp and I missed it, when it's Viking versus Viking. But it's a welcome to the NFL moment. And I remember Tim Settle when Washington, I think the Redskins at that time, came to U.S. Bank Stadium on a Thursday night in 2019. O'Connell was on the Washington staff. Tim Settle was a backup for Daron Payne and or Jonathan Allen with this other guy named Matt Ioannidis. And that foursome right there, I mean, they were just super tough. But I'd heard of the name Tim Settle, but I wasn't real familiar with him. He was a freaking handful the entire games, made a nice career for himself. So in the preseason game, in that one drive with McCarthy, Donovan Jackson, and the ones, Settle got Jackson in a good spot, pushed him back 5 yards, and could have absolutely body slammed him or thrown him to the ground and maybe hurt his back, but he didn't. He just kind of shoved him away. That was kind of a welcome to the NFL moment for Donovan because the man just absolutely got him. Did you have a welcome to the NFL moment when you first came into the league?
Man, that's a good question. I think my first welcome to the league moment actually happened, funny enough, here in Minnesota. And it was at the old stadium, the Metrodome, and I was playing Mike Williams. And I remember going into the game, and I remember going into the game, and I remember going, this guy's old. I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be just fine. And I remember going into the game going, I'm not going to be fine. This guy's incredible. What is going on? Sorry, Kevin Williams. And I remember thinking, this is going to be so bad. And he ended up all of it. So he was laughing at me at one point. I was like, what is wrong with this pudgy guy? How is he beating me right now? Just super smart. That was back when they had Jared Allen. Like, it was so fun to be a part of that crew because it was like, my God, what is going on right now? We were in the Metrodome. We had to get dressed in the Twins visiting locker room. I was like, this is terrible. And it was just such a welcome to the league moment. Yeah. But later on down that year, I ended up having to play Aaron Donald. And it was his first start. And I was like young, and I was like, oh my God, this is going to be it. And from that day on, it was like every week was the same. And it's the same thing here, right? Like,
right.
Donovan's gonna learn, right? At times you think you're the biggest, you think you're the strongest, you're not. These guys come out of nowhere, and you're like, who is this guy? Where did he come from? Where does he train? I've never heard of this guy. And they're incredible. The one thing you have to do is adapt quickly, right? And don't ever let them know that they have you, because if they do, they're going to continue to feast on you. You just have to stand up and be tall. And sometimes it's harder than it sounds. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm glad you put it like that, Boone, because that's exactly what I saw yesterday. All right, Donovan had that one series. Settle got him one time, got him badly. If you're watching back the All-22, that may be giggles in the offensive line room because they know the guy's going to be good moving forward, and everybody kind of needs that moment. So yesterday, right in front of us here on the perch, and I don't know if you were here or not, well, this Milton Williams, I mean, he played less than half the Eagles snaps last year. He got paid a boatload. I mean, 97 for the Patriots is a freaking handful. Holy cow. What a good player he is going to be, but already is. Donovan held up really well in one-on-ones against one of the best defensive tackle 3 techniques in the NFL. And I was kind of like, all right, well, after that Settle moment, you see it back. Your dogs get into you in loving fashion, but you're going to be damn sure that doesn't happen again. And we could kind of see it with against Milton Williams yesterday. That's iron sharpening iron, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's hard to come back, especially after the play that you talked about, right? You kind of get pushed back into the quarterback's lap, and everyone's looking at you like, dude, what's going on? To come back in one-on-ones against one of the top free agents last year, that's exactly what I'm talking about, right? Like, you have to shrug things off and be like, hey, it's fine. I'm going to move on. And not only that, but it's the practice, right? You're out there, you're working new things, you're trying new things, you're in a new environment, it's your first ever joint practice, things are out of control. You're going to get pushed around, but to come back in one-on-ones, I thought one-on-ones yesterday were great for the Vikings. I enjoyed it. By the way, did we not have the best view of it?
Yeah, from the perch right in front of us. I mean, if you're an elite beef-eating mind, this is 15 yards away from you. I mean, it was phenomenal. Then you had the offense on the right, the defense all the way over to the other side. And with those one-on-ones yesterday, I didn't know this, man. And, this is cool that Vikings offensive lineman Logan Brown quite well. Tell the audience, how do you know him so well, and what do you like about him?
So we trained Logan for the Combine, and obviously he did phenomenal there. We've known him since January, and we obviously recruited him last year to come train with us. But when he got picked up by the Vikings, we were so excited. He's such a naturally great fit for him here. He's so athletic. He was a monster at Kansas, played right tackle. Against Houston, he comes out, destroys at the right tackle position. Could not be more excited for him. This week, it looks like he's going to be playing a little bit of the left, but that's one of the things that we told him early on is when you're young and you're not a starter and you're not the guy, you have to be able to do whatever they ask you to do. So watching him move from right to left was awesome because that was one of the biggest things that we kind of work in the gym is both sides. because when you come to a team, they could just start messing with you and they start moving you to both sides. But the greatest thing about it was talking to Coach Cooper about how amazing he's doing, the transition that he's made, how awesome he is in the room, and things like that. It's really one of the reasons why we kind of got back into this was so we could stay around the game and still try to teach the young guys the things that they probably don't already know and kind of help them along the way a little bit faster, which has been great for Logan.
Well, now, first of all, let's do a covenant cleanup and handle that L that I put on Logan. I mean, saying you went to K-State when you really went to Kansas is like saying you went to Iowa State when you really went to Iowa, or reverse.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Something like that. No, I appreciate you, brother, but he was a Badger, then he was a Jayhawk. I didn't necessarily watch it closely when watching things back. Logan Brown, how well did he play in the Texans game? What are some things he did well?
I thought he did amazing. Number one, getting to his spot and settling. I mean, it's one of the things that when you talk about tackle play right now in the NFL, there's so many guys oversetting or they're not able to get enough depth to get back to their spot. I thought he did a phenomenal job of getting to it. And literally as soon as he struck whoever was coming across the line, it was over. And it's one of the things that we talk about in the gym because the guys don't understand that if you get a great strike, the rep is over. If you can stop their feet, we're not going anywhere anymore. And I guess it just doesn't really happen a lot in college play. So to see him do it in the first NFL game was incredible. I was so excited for him. I can't wait to watch him this week.
This offensive line training company / regiment that you have, we've discussed it before. At one point, we discussed it with Jeremiah Searles. Is it the same thing? How many years have you been doing it? And what are the qualifications? Do you recruit them or do they find you?
It's kind of a mixture of both. We've been doing this for 5 years. We trained Joe Walt 2 years ago. We still train Joe. Last year we had Jalen Travis came in and trained with us. We did Matt Calvis has come in and trained with us. Trevor Penny's come in at one point and trained with us. We really kind of search these guys out now in college. And yesterday at camp, you probably saw me talking to a bunch of people. A couple of them were agents, guys coming into the gym, guys that we're recruiting. We're trying to get to come. We're actually getting ready to take our gym to Arizona for the combine training. So January, February, we'll be in Arizona training the boys. And then we'll come back up here with all the guys in the spring and summer because, dude, Minnesota is so beautiful. And everybody loves to fish. They all love to hunt. We all like to shoot guns. So it's like, let's just come back up here where we're naturally wanted, and we'll hang out, and then you guys can go back to camp.
All right, so you get them at 19, 20, 21, and they're not going to be with you if they don't, at least have a chance to, say, crack a practice squad or be D1 or maybe make an active roster. So with offensive linemen this day and age, in what ways do you train offensive linemen to become better? What are some consistent traits you're seeing 2020 to 2025 that are different than when you played and you got to fix them?
Oh, well, I think it's just become a little bit sloppier. I think guys are they overset a lot more than we used to at times. You just see guys that have completely overset guys and guys that go right inside right away. I think the strike has kind of lost its luster. But the problem is the guys that are doing it, they stand out, right? The minute I see somebody that I'm like, this guy, he hasn't overset the entire game. He's striking. He's coming off the rock. He's starting fights after the play. This is the kind of guy I'm looking for. They stand out to us. And not only that, but then I'll have an agent call me and go, hey, I got a kid. I just found a kid in Wyoming, right? And he's like, hey, I want you to pull up this tape. I pull up the tape of the Arizona game. First play, this kid's running 20 yards downfield, decleat the safety. I go, give me a phone number. How do I get a hold of this kid? Where is this kid, right? They stand out to us. Same thing with the scouts, right? At times, scouts will call me and go, hey, Boone, check out this kid. You'll love him, right? 5 plays in, he's starting a fist fight down the field. And I'm like, where is this kid's phone number? I need to know where he is, right? These are the kids that we're all looking for. The kids that are naturally just going to come out and start a fight, but can at some point pull themselves back in and go, I'm in a football game. I need to control myself. A little bit of rage is good, and we don't even see it anymore. I think that's the one thing that's kind of losing its luster. Now, I have a theory. We don't have enough time. We will have to talk about it later.
Now, okay, I love to hear that. But like Brian O'Neill, he's into his 8th year, and I know from all the times I've chatted with you on or off the radio, you really like a lot of things about Brian O'Neill, even at this stage of his career. What are some traits Brian possesses that really infatuate you?
Exactly what I just said. Number one, Brian's probably my number 2 offensive lineman in the NFL that I love the most. Darius us 3. But I love Brian because, number one, he's been an anchor for so many years, right? He's the most reliable right tackle that I've known, the longest, besides number 1, Panay, right? Panay's my guy. You watch that guy pull, it's different. But when you talk about Brian and the leadership that he's brought for all those years, he's been standing in there. He's never really crumbled. He's been hurt and still come back. At the same time, he's athletic, can come off the rock, isn't afraid to strike people, and I still see him starting fights. It's the exact same thing we just talked about. You just don't see enough of that anymore. Here's a guy, year 8, who gets it. He understands what this league's about. It's about violence. And the more I can create and the more chaos I can create on your defense, the more you're going to be spinning in the blender and the less we will be. And that's why I love a guy like Brian. But then you pair him with a Christian Darrisaw and you're like, easily top 2 tackle tandem in the NFL. And I don't even think that's a question, right? Oh. And that's why this year seems like it's going to be so fun.
So you said your favorite is Penei, as in Penei Sewell?
Yeah.
How about your guy Ben Johnson? All right, now head coach of the Bears. How about when he puts Penei Sewell on a jet sweep, and they fake it on the jet? They like feign something to the left, and then they set up a right tackle or unbalanced offensive lineman screen to the right. I mean, they do stuff like that with Penei Sewell. Holy cow, is he athletic!
Incredible, and that's just something you can't coach. But at the same time, when it comes down to, like, you could say Trent Williams is another one like that, right? Like, Christian Darrisaw is another one like that. You, at times, and this is funny, Logan was like, hey, CD and I become really close. I go, hey, that's great. And I love CD, right? Don't you dare start acting like you're CD on the field. And he goes, what? I go, hey, don't you dare. Don't you dare do what he does. He is different. He is allowed to do that. You are not. He was like, no, I got it. I go, no, I'm not even kidding you. If he tries to give you advice on how to play football, be like, CD, I am not you. I am not an athletic freak. I cannot do this, okay? Yeah. He was like, no, I got it. I go, I don't think you do. Like, he is they're genetically wired different, right? Like, you watch them and you're like, that's not possible. How is he so low to the ground and yet moving so fast? It makes no sense. And that's why those guys are different. But when you talk about an all-around offensive lineman, Brian O'Neill to me is the stud of the NFL. Like, just does it every week, doesn't complain, always has a smile on his face. I love it.
All right, lastly here, when you went to the Super Bowl, Colin Kaepernick was very early in his career. Whether it's him or whether it's other young quarterbacks like J.J. McCarthy, what do you expect from him being led by O'Connell and him calling the plays and him running the offense with this nice two-headed running attack you talked about, Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason, behind a reconstructed line? But he's 22 years of age, never thrown a regular season pass. So McCarthy leading this offense early in the season, what do you expect and what do you think is prudent with the way they're raising him?
Well, number one, I think it's prudent that you get the run game going, right? Like, if you're going to fear something, you don't want everyone chomping at the bit to get after your quarterback, right? You want them to be like, hey, before we do anything, we got to stop the run today. And I remember several meetings, being in team meetings, head coach, not even a defensive guy, would say, number one thing today, defense, what do we got to do? We got to stop the run. He'd be like, we don't stop the run, the bleeding won't end, right? Because then here comes play action. And then alpha play action, now they're just going to have fun with things. Gidgets and Gazmos and do whatever they want to do. Stop the run, and that's the number one thing. So if you're the Vikings, you're like, hey, we got to get this run game going, right? And that's why you invested in this O-line, and that's why you went out and got Jordan, and you're like, this is going to be amazing. And at the same time, I don't expect a lot from him. Don't put a lot of pressure on him, right? You have amazing receivers. Let them do them. What do they do? Great play action. Maybe get them down the field, right? At the same time, get the run game going, get the play action going, and then when everything's having fun, then you sit him back there and let him throw the ball around. But you don't have to go crazy with him and go, hey, we're throwing all our eggs in one basket with you, bud. This is Will Levis, right? You're going. You don't do anything, we're in trouble. It's like, no, we got enough to lean on. We have great tight ends. We have great receivers. We have great running backs. We're going to have a phenomenal line, dude. You just sit there and don't drop the handoff, okay? Do that for us.
Bro, you're the absolute best. I don't know if I'll see you today. Hopefully I do. But if I don't, great chatting with you yesterday. And let's stay in touch. All right, Alex?
You're the best, P. I appreciate you.
See you, man. Alex Boone, beloved Booney, former offensive lineman for the Minnesota Vikings. And watching practice, see, that's like I'll never forget being at the joint practices last year in Cleveland and watching red zone drills from underneath the goalpost at the Browns facility in Berea, Ohio, with Bursich and with Lieber. And it's just like listening to Booney there. I mean, they see these things develop and they see these little technical things take place that makes football markedly more complicated than we can even comprehend, but it also personifies what goes into the ultimate team game, where it's like if an offensive lineman is not set right and a Milton Williams senses it and he gets around you. Well, that means 95% of that individual play with the components involved could go right.
Yeah.
But if one thing goes wrong, it could ruin the whole thing, man. And it's to the trained eye, like Alex Boone, who played in the Super Bowl. I just find those things fascinating. Kind of like Justin Jefferson, wide receiver for the Minnesota Vikings, on what would be the one of the East practice fields. Running and skipping and jumping and playing catch and stretching. He's JJ out before everybody else, just limbering up the con.
No, when I saw that, and you were still talking to Boone, and I even had to write it down and I had to point it out like a child.
There he is.
Because he's not practicing this week, obviously. There's going to be the evaluation process, KO said, in a week.
Yeah.
Excuse me, the gerbil shifted.
Same.
But the fact that watching him, maybe one of the league's best receivers, he could have been sprinting in front of us. He could have been practicing
maybe
his get-offs, so to speak. And maybe he's practicing the over-the-shoulder catches.
Yeah, like maybe he's practicing getting off the, what a suggestion would be, because we're great rehabilitory minds.
Yeah.
Great rehabilitation minds. All right, 3-2. Great rehabbing minds.
There we go.
Getting off the line of scrimmage against a jam and then putting the pedal to the metal and catching something over the shoulder, well, that's a requirement in the National Football League. Those would be, holy cow, wow, that was nice. Those would be really cool things to work on, don't you think?
No, I do think that, and it's cool to see 18 out there. So in terms of his process in the way that we were watching Christian Darrisaw yesterday, going at it, one-on-ones, team-related drills appeared to have little, if any, restrictions. Just got the brace on there like a lot of O-liners do, watching that. Good times ahead, I think, for Mr. Jefferson.
So now the players and the coaches have film and they have past performances.
Now there's the bomb dog
from yesterday, and I'm curious to see what develops today off the film they have from yesterday, because things should be tighter. Things probably will be more crisp, specifically with certain facets of both defenses, and that's going to take place today at noon when day 2 of the joint practices commences between the Vikings and the New England Patriots. When we return, coming to catch up with an old friend, Greg Coleman, a longtime punter for the Minnesota Vikings and longtime sideline analyst for the Minnesota Vikings audio network. He's going to join us to talk about several things, including a charitable golf tournament. It's annual that he has coming up, and we're going to catch up with Touch around the corner on KFAN.
Tired of spills and stains on your sofa? WashableSofas.com has your back. Featuring the Anabay collection, the only designer sofa that's machine washable inside and out, where designer quality meets budget-friendly prices. That's right, sofas start at just $699. Enjoy a no-risk experience with pet-friendly, stain-resistant, and changeable slip covers made with performance fabrics. Experience cloud-like comfort with high-resilience foam that's hypoallergenic and never needs fluffing. The sturdy steel frame ensures longevity, and the modular pieces can be rearranged anytime. Check out WashableSofas.com and get up to 60% off your Anabay sofa, backed by a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. If you're not absolutely in love, send it back for a full refund. No return shipping or restocking fees. Every penny back. Upgrade now at WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change, and certain restrictions may apply.
Gatorade Zero, the #1 proven electrolyte blend, made with zero sugar. Designed to hydrate better than water so you can lose more sweat and push more limits. Gatorade Zero, is it in you?
I've got Dan Morgan here on the pod. Say hi, Dan.
Hey, how's it going today?
It's going good, man. Tell us who you are and what you do.
I'm Dan Morgan. I'm an attorney and a managing partner at Morgan & Morgan, which is America's largest injury law firm.
That's pretty awesome. I think I saw a billboard of yours recently that said 20 billion won. 20 billion is an insane number.
Yeah, 20 billion recovered. It's actually, I think, somewhere north, probably closer to 22, 23 after this year. And each year we get bigger and badder and our Army grows. So the number will hopefully keep getting bigger and bigger as time goes on.
Awesome. So how does someone get in contact with Morgan & Morgan? What would I do if I got into an accident?
Probably the easiest way is dialing pound law. That's pound 529 from your cell phone. We are always open. Our call center is always waiting to take your call. 24/7, 365.
Wow. Dan Morgan from Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Thanks for coming by the show.
Thanks for having me.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
You think you know Snap Judgment? Yes, it's on NPR. It's a podcast, it's storytelling, but Snap has gone deeper, stranger, wilder. We've taken you places that the New York Times, the Rolling Stones, the Ambies, the Webbies, the Gracies all stood up for.
Welcome to the Podcast Hall of Fame, Glenn Washington.
Award-winning stories, original beats, soundscapes that drop you into the heart of the story. Find Snap Judgment from KQED every Thursday, wherever you get your podcast.
It's almost that time again. You can come join us at the 2025 Minnesota State Fair live from Carousel Park, presented by Mesh, Besher, and Spence. We'll be broadcasting live through Labor Day. Come buy your favorite fan merch, learn about your shop, be the Mesh, Besher, and Spence Rube of the Day, and win a prize pack. Full details now, KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
To noon continues from the Winds of Change Vikings Radio Network perch overlooking the perfectly manicured practice fields as Patriots equipment starts to set up their stuff to the north side of the facility. The Vikings equipment staff is doing the same, which means we're going to have some man-on-man action coming up here within the next 90 minutes or so via Joint Practice Day 2. And what a treat it was to get hugged from behind yesterday. And not seeing the individual who came up with all that fellowship and love. It's the second time since the Texans game where I'm like, I don't need to know who's hugging me right now. The love from that hug comes from only one place on this earth, and that's Greg Coleman. And the former analyst, sideline analyst for the Vikings Radio Network and a longtime punter in the NFL and for the Minnesota Vikings. And Greg's here taking in the joint practices and the Vikings and Texans game, and you're still full of that Jacksonville love, man, and it's just great to see you. How you been?
It's great to be here, man. The love that we continue to get is extreme. And it doesn't go without saying, we try to give that same love back. That's why we're here, babysitting with the grandkids.
That's nice.
Spending time with the kids and my kids.
Those are Little G's kids?
No, those are my daughter's kids.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And Little G has got a 1.5-year-old, Amir, and Zaina, who's 3, who's ruling the world. And telling us what to do. Papa, I want eggs and grits and bacon and no watermelon, but I want grapes. Yes, ma'am. Every morning.
And you notice with your son, because you're biblically sound, I called him Little G and not Small G. He's not one of those small G's.
No, sir.
Oh, he's Little G. He's Greg Coleman Jr., you know what I mean?
He's the second. Don't tell Eleanor.
The second.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
There's a difference between Junior. She never wanted anybody calling him Junior. So I said, yes, ma'am.
Is he still doing comedy?
He is. And he's in the St. Paul educational system. Both of my kids are doing extremely well.
Good.
Just blessed to have them. And
your wife, Eleanor, she was a teacher, right?
She was an educator. She was a teacher, and then she was an administrator, assistant superintendent here at the Minneapolis Public Schools.
Yeah.
Before she went on to be a educational consultant for about 10 or 12 years that changed the scope of a lot of school districts around the country. So she's a great woman.
Well, the reason I asked and the reason I said good was your surrogate niece, my daughter Nicole graduated from the University of Colorado.
Can't
in May.
believe it. Can't believe it.
All those FaceTimes and bus conversations you and I had over the years about these kids and growing up. And Greg, I got this deal. She's 14. I got this deal. He's 12. Stuff like that. So I appreciate you counseling and ministering to me during some trying times that a lot of parents have with their kids.
Hey, listen, life was not meant to do alone. This journey called life will throw some curveballs, and as you say, we'll go pear-shaped. But we've got to have people in our circle who are a part of that mathematical formula, adding and multiplying.
Yeah.
Forget about the subtraction and division. You don't need that. So every now and then we have to reevaluate who's in our circle to continue to move to get 1% better each and every day.
Well, so your surrogate niece graduates from the University of Colorado, and she's getting into the FBI. So we had psychology, we had criminology, and things like that. So I'm at the graduation. All right, at Folsom Field in Boulder, Colorado, Dion Stadium, and there probably are 4,500, 5,000 kids who are graduating, and they got the individual classes now, the arts and whatever department, blah blah blah, like 3,000 people stand up. Here's what I'm getting at. It was eye-opening to me, and I thought it was sad when they said, and now the education graduates, those getting into the education system. I'm not kidding you. Maybe 150 people stood up.
I know, Paul.
I'm seriously, it's like, I know a lot of things have changed, specifically in public schools, and maybe the proverbial toothpaste is out of the tube and it can't go back in. That was one of the saddest things I've seen in the year of 2025.
But let me tell you something. Basic education is still the heartbeat of this nation, the heartbeat of our world. And if we don't start to reinvest in our young people in terms of education, basic fundamentals, basic humanities, social studies, humanities, all of those things that brought us where we are today, to care about nature, to care about, mankind, then we are missing the boat.
Right.
I've always said that the PhDs and the doctors and all of those folks need to be down in kindergarten and elementary school, because that's where the basic learning takes place. Because by the time the kid gets to middle school and high school, he's already formulated some ideas and habits and rituals that will either serve them or not serve them as they grow into young adults.
Greg Coleman via Twitter at Greg Coleman 8 at Greg Coleman 8, and he does a lot of motivational, faith-based, and/or inspirational speaking. You can learn more about that at Greg Coleman 8. Also an author. But for the purpose of this conversation and this Covenant catch-up, the annual golf tournament is on the horizon. Tell us more.
It's our 26th annual Greg Coleman Celebrity Golf Tournament out at Bunker Hills next Tuesday, the 19th. And Paul, for the umpteenth time, we are completely sold out in terms of golfers. We have 252 golfers out, and but there's still room, because why are we doing this? You always ask, what's your why? It's because of young people. I grew up as a white kid down in Jacksonville, Florida. Learned discipline, learned teamwork, learned all of those things that have served me in terms of core values. And the core values of the Y has not changed over those years. And what we try to do is raise money for our sports programs, our mentoring programs. And Paul, to see kids, when we started 26 years ago, now have gone through the program, who are now working in a part of the YMCA system, that lets us know that our work is not in vain. So that's why we continue to do it. We've got some great partners, TSR, Injury Law with Steve Terry with his crazy self, sick Delta, the Vikings. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And we continue to get new partners because they understand. And I call them partners for a reason, PA. And I look at that word over there, it says thank you, partners.
Yeah.
It doesn't say thank you, sponsors, because a sponsor is somebody who can write a check and walk away. A partner is someone who's going to be with you through thick and thin, through change, and that's what we continue to get. And God has been so good to us, man. And we've got guys coming in from all over the country, and I'm just so elated that my wife gives me the opportunity to, okay, go do this.
Yeah.
and she's a special woman.
Is there a website where
Yes.
people can go? Because you said it's sold out, but I mean, if people want
Yes.
to partner up and or help.
Absolutely. Go to giving at ymcanorth.org. Giving at ymcanorth.org.
Giving at ymcanorth.org.
.org. Thank you, PA. I appreciate it.
You watch how much you watched yesterday?
You know what? Not much, but I took in the game. I watched the whole game. Saw some things that I like. You know, PA, it's early, but training camp as we know it has changed. We were talking to Eric off air. I mean, this is a production now.
Yeah.
You know, guys get an opportunity to hit some other players instead of going 6 weeks of beating on each other. You know, the lag dog days where, you know, you don't want to practice. But you can't take a day off now because everything is amplified, to the hilt. Everything is filmed. I mean, even practice jogging now. They know how many, steps you're going to take and all of that stuff. It's amazing game.
So in closing, Ryan Wright is punter for the Minnesota Vikings.
Yes.
Now, for a second consecutive year, they have a second punter in the offseason, training camp, and during preseason games. This year, it's part of the international plan. It's an Aussie. I think he might have punted at like Auburn or something like that. So it's not like he just got here from Adelaide or Brisbane or whatever. So he's punted in Division I football. But the Aussie, Oscar Chapman, he kicked something called a banana ball. When O'Connell dropped that on Ben, Pete, and I in a meeting before the first preseason game, I'd never heard banana ball. What is it?
Absolutely, it's a ball that comes off the foot and it turns over, not nose down.
Yes,
but it floats. And not to toot my own horn, but Mama say it's a sorry dog that won't wag its own tail.
Meaning?
I never got the height of the Ray guys and the Reggie Robys, but my hang time was adequate because I figured out down at Florida A&M how to kick a banana ball.
Wow.
And it went over and it just floated.
How do you figure that out? I mean, only you and Mike Bragg from back in the day knew about this.
You practice some different things and you get a chance to, kicking into the wind, and it really does well going into the wind. I mean, it just flutters. It's a floating flutter ball.
It knuckles.
In the return, guys just waiting, say, okay, dog, when is this thing going to come down?
Yeah.
And you got a Joey Browner, you got a Terry LeCount, you got a Keith Nord, Carl Lee on those corners. They say, dang, man, this ball is not high, but I got to wait because it's not down yet.
Yeah.
I called it a flutter ball. They call it a banana ball.
Joey Browner was a gunner, right?
Yes, he was.
How about that monster with that body and that speed as a gunner? Are you kidding me?
Joey Browner, Carl Lee, Keith Nord, Terry LeCount.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys would argue, hey, man, kick it to my side, kick it to the left, kick it to the right, because with the bonuses and all of that stuff with tackles.
But then think about main man Marcus, who may be in Rochester, Minnesota listening right now, Marcus Sherrills.
Absolutely.
Okay, Marcus was fast. Yes, Marcus was not super big. Marcus is one of the great gunners in the history of this team and maybe the greatest punt returner in the history of this team. Just think about what Marcus Sherrills got out of that Marcus Sherrills body compared to, I remember when Everson Griffin was used as a gunner for a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Joey Browner, we talked about that. Baltimore and or New England had this cat named Adalius Thomas, who was like a Pro Bowl defensive end. I mean, that guy was a train coming down the field. Then you got main man Marcus, sleight of frame, beat everybody every time.
He was smart. He was smart and used the gift that God gave him called a body. He knew how to release better than most wide receivers. So even on the double teams, he had the ability to get free, go down, get in the punt returner's face. I mean, he was a special young man.
Love you, man. Good seeing you.
Back at you, Pete.
Appreciate you.
All right.
Greg Coleman with the golf tournament Tuesday at Greg Coleman 8 via X if you would like to learn more. Into the second hour of the Perch presentation, joint practice day 2. Nacho Lieber, Ben Lieber will join us when we return to Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center on KFAN.
To you, my darling.
No, to you.
The Roses were living the dream.
More champagne for me, please.
Until it all came crashing down.
He got fired.
Fired?
from the director of Meet the Parents.
You're a failure. Women don't like that.
If you need a shoulder or an inner thigh to lean on.
On August 29th.
I just want the house.
We want everything.
Wow.
Stop.
Houston!
And see The Roses.
These people.
The Roses. Rated R. Under 17, not admitted without parent. In theaters everywhere, August 29th.
Life's messy. We're talking spills, stains, pets, and kids. But with Anabae, you never have to stress about messes again. At WashableSofas.com, discover Anabae sofas, the only fully machine-washable sofas inside and out, starting at just $699. Made with liquid and stain-resistant fabrics. That means fewer stains and more peace of mind. Designed for real life, our sofas feature changeable fabric covers, allowing you to refresh your style anytime. Need flexibility? Our modular design lets you rearrange your sofa effortlessly. Perfect for cozy apartments or spacious homes. Plus, they're earth-friendly and built to last. That's why over 200,000 happy customers have made the switch. Upgrade your space today. Visit WashableSofas.com now and bring home a sofa made for life. That's WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change, and certain restrictions may apply.
Gatorade Zero, the #1 proven electrolyte blend, made with zero sugar. Designed to hydrate better than water so you can lose more sweat and push more limits. Gatorade Zero, is it in you?
The day begins at the Chase Sapphire Lounge by the club at Boston Logan Airport. You get the clam chowder. In San Diego, it's tostadas. New York, espresso martini. It's 10 a.m. Why not? It's the quiet before your next flight, the shower that resets your day, the menu that lets you know where you are. This is access to over 1,300 airport lounges and every Sapphire Lounge by the club. And one card that gets you in. Chase Sapphire Reserve, the most rewarding card.
Learn more at chase.com/Sapphire Reserve. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval.